Hello my dudes, and welcome back to my little corner of the interwebs. If you're new here, I'm Evan, and I knit things. And if you're a regular, welcome back. I'm so glad you're all here. Today is podcast episode 5. For me, today is Friday, February 14th, so happy Valentine's Day if that's a thing that you care about. And happy Friday if it's not. Today we're going to be talking about my knitting from February 1st until today, February 14th. Last week we just had a brain outage, and you know, that's how it goes sometimes. So I have a super ton of stuff to tell you about. I've got technically 5 finished objects. I don't have them all anymore. I've got a whole bunch of whips and progress and stuff to tell you about, a couple acquisitions, and a whole bunch of book chat. So let's jump right in. So last time I had finished Garrett's birthday Musselburgh hat, but it was still blocking, so you didn't really get to see it. You got to see a really crappy picture. This is the Musselburgh by Isolde Teague, and here's Garrett's finished Musselburgh. This is knit up in Knit Picks Chroma fingering. Here was the cast on side, and here's the bind off side. So I have something to say about this yarn. You see how this is a light color here, a light like blue-ish before it goes into the tan? We just skipped that bit here. What's that about? I don't like it. I don't like that we skipped a whole color here, right in the middle of the skein. That really bothers me. Anyway, if you're unfamiliar with the Musselburgh hat, you knit this tube, and then you fold it in on itself like this, and then ta-da, you've got a hat that you can fold up the brim if you want to, depending on how big you like it and how slouchy you like it. So there's Garrett's Musselburgh hat. I like this side better because it's not missing a color. He liked it. I gave it to him for his birthday along with these gloves. So here was his little birthday set of knitting, and he liked it. So, woo. Then, you guys haven't seen any of these things. Well, I guess you saw the very beginnings of Henry's Musselburgh hat. I showed you that I'd like cast on. But before I started his Musselburgh hat, before I started working on his Musselburgh hat, I started his gloves. And given that it's been 2 weeks, I also finished them. They're like fingerless mitts with a flap. They're still wet. They've been blocking, but they didn't need pinned or anything, so they've just been sitting on a blocking mat in my closet. These are from the pattern, the Podster Gloves by Glenna C. Yarn is, I am holding a fingering weight K&C cotton from Joanne, with a lace weight Surrey alpaca from I Am Inspire a Mind. The fingering weight colorway was called Paloma Swirl, and the Surrey, I don't know, I think it was like blue. So we've got glove, they've got a little thumb hole. It's hard to move it because it's still wet. And then we've got the mitten flap. It doesn't have a button yet because I'm going to let him pick which button he wants for my button collection. And then I'll have some ends to trim. Oh, I just threw that. And then there'll be ends to trim. You can see the ends there when they're dry. And then I also worked on his Musselburgh hat. Again, Musselburgh by Isolde Teague, knit up in Knit Picks Chroma. This chroma was called Clown Wig. This one is Seahorse. So again, Like, it looks so lovely. We go from red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, blue, green, yellow, orange, red, orange. Then the yellow here is smaller, the green is bigger. There's no blue. Then we go to the tiniest purple, to blue, to a big green, to tiny yellow, orange, red, orange. Who's dyeing these? Because they need better quality control. Don't be skipping colors if the whole point of the yarn is to be like chromatic. Don't do that. It makes people angry. It makes me angry. So this is for Henry's birthday. This hasn't been blocked yet, so it's still all lumpy looking in bits. But it'll be like this. I'm sure he'll love it with his mittens. And so we've got mittens and hat. His birthday isn't until the 28th. So hats and mittens. And that's not even all the finished objects. That's all the finished objects I have to show you, but I did end up finishing the giant Purl Soho project, and I sent that off last week. And I finished the Ranunculus for Fiona, and I sent that out. Here's a really crappy picture in my kitchen. It was impossible to get a picture of this sweater because number one, it's black. Number two, it's fluffy. Number three, the lighting in my house is bad because I always have all the curtains closed. And I couldn't put it on for you because it is vastly the wrong size for me. But anyway, so those are all the things I finished. So many things. I am feeling much better about the state of knitting in my life right now. I officially have no more deadlines right now, and that makes me very happy. So, let's talk whips. I made some decisions. We're going to talk cross stitch first. So, I did make some progress from the last time you saw this. I don't remember what was done last time and what wasn't, but we've gotten the whole bottom here done. Some of the shirt, this whole arm, this whole arm. And it's been in this state since like February 4th or 5th. And I was like, oh look, I can finish his shirt and his face and his hair for Garrett's birthday on the 6th. I'll be tired, but I can do it. And then I looked back at the pattern. Let me put a picture of the pattern up here. I forgot, number one, how big his hair is. And number two, that this entire section up here is all filled in. Like, it's all filled in with color. So there was no way that could be finished. So I decided, and like I hadn't even started Henry's yet, and well, like I did like this much. And his is smaller, but it was just stressing me out so bad. I decided that these two cross stitches, the one for Henry and this one for Garrett, are going to be Christmas presents for them next year. And I can take my time and not stress out because this is by far the largest cross stitch I've ever even seen, much less attempted. And it's enormous, and there's a lot of like really scattered colors. Like, look in here. Look how many different colors are just in there. It's not like there's chunks. Like, look at all this. There's like 15 different colors in each little square. And so I'm going to take my time and work on it when I feel like working on it, and then they'll be finished for Christmas next year. And it'll be wonderful, and everyone will love them, and it'll be great. So, no more stressing about that. Now, next whip. What is it? What else did I work on? Since I had finished most of the things that I was working on, I just finished Henry's hat last night, but like I knew I'd finish it in plenty of time for his birthday. I picked up my Bahama Wrap by TL Yarn Crafts that I am Tunisian crocheting with all the leftovers of my yarns from workshops and things from our Ireland trip this past October. So I decided to pick that up because, you know, it's relatively mindless. I do have to look at it, but it's not hard, and it's fun. So I picked that up, and I was back here last time you saw it. So I finished all of this color and then alternated with the next color, and now we're into the solid this color now. So I think that's pretty cool. I've been working on this a bit. Let me move the marker for you. So that's just been something to work on when I feel like working on it. It doesn't seem like a super ton of work, but I am not very proficient at Tunisian crochet, so I'm pretty slow, but that's where we are. This yarn is, oh, there's actually a tag in here. This is Nua Worsted in the colorway Frog on the Wall. That's fun. I actually have a whole sweater quantity of Nua Sport that I'm going to be using later this year. Okay. Oh, now it's all tangled. It's all tangled. My hook doesn't quite fit all the way in the bag though. Like this is a relatively large bag, but it doesn't fit all the way in there. Next whip, book socks. I've been reading a lot due to stress, and I wanted to catch up on my book socks because I only had 6 books on there, and I'm up to 26 books. So I did catch up some, not all the way. Here's where we are. Book socks. The main color is Nitpick Stroll in the colorway Midnight Heather, and the rest are all just fingering weight sock yarn scraps that I've had in my scrap collection for some time. Each different color means a different genre of book that I read. This is up to 22 books, and I stopped here because now I need to do the heel. I clearly vastly underestimated how many books I could fit in a sock. And given that I don't want these to be like thigh highs, we may do either quarterly socks or like 6-month socks. So we're either going to have 2 pairs of socks for the year or 4 pairs of socks for the year, depending on where these go. Because if this is just the foot and this is only 22 books, and in the past 2 years I've read between like 170 and 190 books in a year, so they're going to be really big, because I don't want to do smaller than 3 row stripes because that's just really annoying with ends and weaving them in, and it gets uncomfortable. So this is where we are. So far, I've got 4 more books that need to go into the socks after I do the heel, and then I'll be all caught up. So I will move my marker here. I'm considering doing a new heel. When I'm doing socks like this, I would usually just put in a piece of waste yarn and then do a forethought heel afterwards, but everyone tells me how great the shadow wrap heel is, so I'm thinking maybe I'll do a shadow wrap heel. I've never done it before, and if I hate it on this pair, then the next pair I don't have to do it, but I figured I'd give it a try. So I will probably do that this afternoon and try to get these caught up. because I'm probably going to finish another book today, and let me tell you, I didn't like being 20 books behind, because everything has felt insurmountable this past week, and that just felt insurmountable. I found it funny that every other book I read for a while there was a romance, read as romance. All of these are fantasy. Let's see, that's mystery. Got a lot of fantasy in there, a couple mangas, 2 Brandon Sandersons, and not remembering what that one is right now. Or that one's mystery. I don't remember what that one is at the moment. I could look it up, but I don't care. So, book socks, we'll be working on those. And then I have one new cast on that I just started last night, and there's a whip I want to talk to you about. So, what should we do first? Let's chat about the whip first. So you guys haven't seen this, I don't think, yet this year. This is the giant pink blanket. It is extraordinarily loosely based on the No Purl ribbed blanket from Purl Soho, and by extremely loosely based, I mean I just followed the stitch pattern, which is like knit 1, slip 1, knit 3, slip 1, knit 3, slip 1, and then you do the same thing but offset on the wrong side. So like it looks like ribbing, but it's not. Like this is the slip stitch and these are knit. So it's kind of like a garter slip stitch thing. Now you'll notice this is not on needles. Those are live stitches. I will insert this video as I tell you what I want to tell you. So I've been staring at this sitting behind my couch for quite a while now, and I'm like, you know, this is not bringing me joy. In fact, it is bringing me stress and unhappiness. Number one, I don't like the act of knitting on this blanket. Because the needles are massive and it's huge and it's just uncomfortable and it hurts my hands. Number two, the day that I cast this on, I was stuck in bed and needed something that was just knit stitches, and this was the yarn that I had available in my closet and needles that I had available in my closet. And I was stuck in bed for quite a few days, so I just did this. And I didn't pay attention to how many stitches I cast on or anything. I just cast on until I felt it was alright. Well, this thing is way too big for anything. It's too big for my bed. We have a queen size bed. And I hate knitting it. I had originally just cast it on to use up my collection of super bulky yarn, because I'm never going to use it in a garment, so I wanted to use it for something and just get it out of my collection. And I still want to do that, but not like this. I hate this. I hate knitting it. I want to do something probably crochet and something more modular. That's pieces that I can then assemble into something large, so it's not so big working on it that like it's like each stitch is like moving this giantness, and it hurts my body. My body can't handle it. So let me know in the comments your favorite super bulky modular knit or crochet, probably blankets, but if there's something else that's not a garment, let me know. I mean, I guess the pattern doesn't specifically have to be for super bulky. It can be for something else, and I'll just adjust needle or hook size accordingly. But let me know. So one of my goals for the year was to finish that blanket. I haven't decided what to do about that goal yet, whether to just say it's done because I frogged it, or whether to say I want to make something else out of that yarn instead and count that I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I'm not in a rush to decide at this moment. When I find the right thing to make, then I'll decide. So, that's the giant pink blanket saga that is currently out of sight, out of mind, off my brain space. Now, new cast on. Since last night, I finished everything that I had to work on. Earlier this week, when I knew I would be done with stuff soonish, I knit this swatch. This is Crochet Cove in the colorway Stellar. It's their organic DK base, and this is Knit Picks Hawthorne DK. By the way, I'm a Knit Picks affiliate. If you have interest in anything from Knit Picks, they have a couple things 20% off right now. You can use the link in the description box below, and I get a small commission. It really helps me out. So I cast on the swatch, and then the swatch is perfect. So I cast on and knit 2 rows of the Stripe Hype sweater by Veronika Lyndberg. So I'm using this Stellar. Lucy, stop snoring so loud. And then I'm using the Hawthorne DK for all of the contrast colors. Lucy, I'm gonna make you leave. So we've got this blue, yellow, green, pinky purple, and red brown. It's gonna be awesome. I think this is the first color I'm going to use. This will be second. And then maybe this one will be third. I can't decide. And then the red, brown, and this yellow I think are going to go on the sleeves. But I haven't totally decided yet. I think definitely the blue is going to be first and the pink will be second. So that should be fun. Like I said, I've only worked a couple rows on it, but I like it so far. No complaints. Okay, let's do a quick, what am I wearing? This is the Nydia by Vanessa Smith. I knit this back in 2021, and it's knit up in Hedgehog Fibers Tweedy Noir. It's a really cool stitch pattern. I like it a lot. I haven't worn it in forever. Like forever. It's a little big on me now, but that's okay. I'm wearing it over a dress, so I think it looks pretty cute. Yeah, that's that one. Acquisitions. So last time I showed you guys the yarn I got from Purl Soho with the gift card that I got as a gift for sample making for them for the past year and a half. Well, I got the yarn, and then a few days later they emailed me a $25 gift card for shopping with them. I don't know if everybody gets that or if it was just me, but I would assume it was everybody. So I of course used that, and I got 2 skeins of their yarn Sweetgrass, which is an undyed 65% organic cotton and 35% superfine alpaca. It's a fingering weight. This is the colorway Beech Bark, and it's 437 yards per 100 grams. This is so soft. Leslie from Knit California she put out the test call for her new tank top design, And I, of course, applied for it. Whether I get in or not, I don't know. But if I do, I want to use this. And if not, the day that it comes out, I will be using this. I also have some other yarn that I'd like to knit that tank top with, but I think this will be the first one. So it's a cotton alpaca, and it's so soft. Honestly, it feels like there's silk content, but there's not. And then I guess they send a little mini with every order. This is the Yonder yarn, which is 50% alpaca, 50% Highland wool. I would say this is a heavy worsted Aran, maybe bulky. 28 yards per 20 grams. Yeah, I'm going to go with Aran or light bulky. And the colorway is called Kelp Forest. And this is probably my favorite color, besides gray or black. I love this like slimy chartreuse color. It's coming off a little weird in the viewfinder here. Like it's looking more yellow than it really is. But I love me a slimy chartreuse. Or just a slimy green. Love it. So, got those. That was very exciting. I can't wait to be knitting that. I really hope I get into that test because I really want to knit it. Not that I want another deadline, but I really want to knit that tank top. Why did I pick this up? Oh, last week I also got this awesome sticker from Goblin Yarn Co. How awesome is that? It's a really good sticker. That's all the knitting and yarn things, so let's talk books. I have probably finished a lot of books since we last talked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I finished 9 books since we last talked, so let's jump right in here. The first one is Dragon on Trial by 2ET Sutherland, which was the Menagerie Book 2. I gave it 3 stars. Krakens and Lives by 2ET Sutherland, which was Menagerie Book 3. 3 stars. Both fine. Nothing like, oh my gosh, I loved it, but there was nothing wrong with it. Next, Iron Flame reread by Rebecca Yarros, getting ready to read Onyx Storm. 4 stars. Then I finished Dawn Shard by Brandon Sanderson, which is a little like novella, and a novella for him is 8 hours, but yeah. And that was 4 stars. Gods of Jade and Shadow by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. 2 stars. Like, okay, I've read almost all of her books, hoping for more of Mexican Gothic, because that was the first book of hers I read, and I loved it. So I kept reading more and more of her books, hoping for more like that, and I've been disappointed every time. So I think I give up. There's only, I think, 1 of her books that I haven't read at this point. Yeah, so unhappy. Didn't love that book. Next one, The Ward Witch by Sarah Painter. 3 stars. Apparently, I didn't know this going in. This is a series, like a long one. So we got like no information and that really bothered me. Like, here, let me introduce 9,000 really interesting sounding things into this book and then not explain any of them. I hate that. Okay, next I read Black Clover number 27 by Yuki Tabata, 4 stars. Finally, my husband and I finished Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. 5 stars, of course. We're deciding now whether to read Assassin's Blade or to just move on to Onyx Storm, and then maybe at some other point read Assassin's Blade. We haven't decided yet. And then the last book that I finished was The Hacienda by Isabella Cañas. 5 stars, loved it. Love a horror every now and again. So, now what am I currently reading? Currently, I am reading Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. Obsessed with it. Love it. A Dark and Secret Magic by Wallace Kinney. This one's okay. I keep wanting more, and then it's not happening, and I'm like 70% through, and I'm like, can we have more? Can we have more? And it's just not happening. So I don't know. And then I started Rhythm of War by Brandon Sanderson, which is Stormlight Archive Book 4. But I think, at least for now, I'm going to be DNFing it. That's did not finish, for those of you who didn't know what that meant. The main character of this book, without giving too many spoilers, has dealt with depression throughout the entire series. But in this book, it's really intense, and it's really and he's just at a point of complete hopelessness, and I understand that Brandon Sanderson is trying to like normalize dealing with that struggle, and as a person who is always dealing with that and has for 20 years, it's just a little too real for me at this point for me right now, where the struggle's a little harder than it normally is. So for my mental state right now, that's not something that I can currently read. So we're going to be putting that aside. I'm not saying that I won't ever finish it, but I can't read it right now. So where that puts the state of my finished the Cosmere for the year, I don't know. That has to be on hold for right now. So as much as that annoys me, my mental health is more important. So I think that's all the stuff. That got a little heavy. Sorry if you weren't enjoying that. Yeah, that's all the stuff I've talked about. Hope you liked this episode. Thanks for stopping by. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to support the channel, you can buy me a pattern on Ravelry from my wish list. You can subscribe here. You can follow me over on Instagram for more daily stuff and musings and nonsense. We've been doing the daily dork over there every morning in my stories, which is drink, outfit, reading, knitting. So if you want to know what I'm up to on the daily, go follow me over there. Click that little notification bell to be notified of my next upload. I am chronically ill and disabled, so things don't always happen on my schedule, or on the schedule that I'd like to be on. So if you want to know when the next upload is, click that notification bell. And yeah, I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. Hope you liked this one. See you next time. Bye!